Good morning, and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting, as I get all comfy in here. I'm Kim, and this is my podcast about knitting, spinning, dyeing of yarn, all of which I do from my home, right here outside of Lima, Ohio. I can be found on several places online. One of them is Ravelry as Napier's Knits, and then we have a Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group where we have our knit alongs and all different kinds of threads. I can also be found on Etsy as knittin_Kim, and I could be found on I have an Etsy store, Napier's Knits, and then I could be found on YouTube, Blogger, and WordPress as Naturally Kim's Knitting. Excuse if I have a little squeal in my voice. We've had nice sunny weather yesterday and the day before, and we're supposed to get rain this afternoon, so I went out gardening. And whereby I love being out in the sun, allergies. Hey, yeah, you gotta choose. You're gonna get stuck inside all the time, or you're gonna go outside and enjoy the sunshine. So I just wanted to explain what that was. To it didn't change my sorry, my blogger did not change my my show notes. Today is May 7th, I believe. Let me just refresh this for a second. Today is May 7th, and this is episode 165. There it is. I was trying to figure out what in the world's going on here. Anyways, I'm sorry about that, guys. And I apologize for last week's podcast. I have no idea what happened. I filmed it like normal. I edited it like normal. And I even formatted it like normal. And somewhere between the formatting and actually going to YouTube, it got lost in cyberspace. I don't know where. Have you ever had that happen? Where you do something and you put all this work into it and then it just disappears. And if I remember right, last Tuesday I had a house showing afterwards. So I didn't have time to redo it again, and we were very busy with the house last week. So I so much apologize. I can give you tons of excuses, but straight out, I missed you guys. I really did. I love talking with you, even if it's through your comments or whatever. And some of you gave me some good comments last week, even though I gave a little apology blurb in there. Um, and I just feel like I'm missing visiting with my friends. And it shows at other places, let me tell you. Um, we'll talk about that later. We have a new friend, and her name is Knitting Belle, or Vicky. And she joined us last week. And I'm hoping, Vicky, that you feel most welcome here. Um, we're not a threatening group in any ways. I don't think I've ever seen a negative remark on about the podcast, and of course, I try not to. Ginger's going to be barking at trucks, it sounds like. Sorry about that. It's nice. She wants to go outside. See, she wants to look outside and just bark, bark, bark. So far, she's being fairly quiet. Anyways, let's see. So, in addition to Knitting Belle, I want to welcome all of you. I love this time talking with all of you. You guys are all so special, and it just thrills my heart to know that I have a few people that want to be friends with me and want to watch all this silliness about knitting and everything. Okay, how about talking about knit-alongs? Well, we just finished up with two of them. We finished up the April one, and we finished the sweater knit or crochet along. And winners have been notified by emails through their Ravelry accounts. So if you did not receive one, I'm sorry, that means you didn't win. But don't give up, because our finished object knit along repeats every new month. So we have a May one going on right now. All you need to do is take a picture of your finished object, that picture plus a pattern name on the thread, the May finished object knit along on Ravelry, and you're in for the drawing. And drawings for the knit alongs are generally up to $5 giftable patterns on Ravelry. So it's fun. I love it. I love seeing what you guys do. Then we had the sweater knit along last month, and that finished. So it's time to start something else. We're doing a 2-month knit along for May and June, and it is the Knitting Expat Designs. Mina is the moderator of the group. Sorry. And she has such wonderful, beautiful designs, including for children, and hats, and adult sweaters, and cowls. I can't remember if she has fingerless mitts. I don't remember, and I don't have it handy right now. But if you're interested in joining this, go ahead and pick out one of her patterns. Yes, there's a cost involved. I apologize. But go ahead and pick one out, knit it up. Yes, they are all knitting too, and post it on the Knitting Expat Designs. Oh, she has great patterns. In fact, I haven't got it on my needles yet, but let me show you what I am knitting that is a Knitting Expat design. The Nugget pullover. Isn't that cool? It's like the not so nugget. I think that's what it was called. Pullover that I did. Only I'm going to do this for my grandson, because I've made my granddaughter quite a few things. And actually I have a dress that I bought from Mina a while ago that my granddaughter went out and rode a bike, put a big hole in it, and she wants another dress. So I will probably be working on one of those for her before long, which is good because my amount of knitting has gone way, way down as of late. It will be changing though. Anyways, Mina is very excited to have us work on her patterns, and I think she's excited to see what all you guys do with them. I'm excited. Okay, so this began on May 1st, and it's going to go through June 30th. So I will draw, or random number generator will draw winners on July 1st. Boy, I just feel like I'm really froggy. I am so sorry, guys. I have a little of my tea. And it ought to be good for my throat. It's lemon honeysuckle. See, I had to do this now because I'm going to be going outside after this podcast to do some more gardening. Anyways, the first person drawn, if there's only up to 10 patterns, I will only have one winner, and they get to pick any pattern from the Knitting Expat Designs, the next pattern they would like to make. And she has such a wide variety. I'm so thrilled. If you guys have any other knit along or craft along ideas that you'd be interested in doing later on, go ahead and put them under, I'll have to bump it up to the top because I'm sure it slid down, the craft along ideas on Ravelry under the knitting, under Naturally Kids Knitting podcast group. Sorry about that. I almost hit you to the wrong place. Okay, let's see. What do I have on my needles? I have a couple things. So I wasn't sure how long this was going to be, but then I found something else that I'll be talking about. These are my Soup Kitchen socks, and they're made out of Chroma fingering weight, the wildflower colorway, and I've only been able to work, well, no, I worked on these at showings too, because when our house is being shown, I go next door to what we're hoping is our future house. Sorry. You know how it is. I don't know how these ended up coming off the needle, but I had 4 stitches fall off the needles. So I have worked on these some there. Worked on them in church. I will be finishing these one day, but you can see the progress I've been making each week, or in this case, each 2 weeks. This is the Chroma fingering weight in the wildflower colorway. You didn't want to see that sock anymore. So isn't that pretty? And it's so soft. Oh, I love this yarn. I love this yarn. We had a viewer on YouTube that commented on how she also does this when she has soft yarn she's working with. And I like working with soft yarn. Now this pair of socks are templates, which it's being changed as of now even, for my ladies trip that I'm taking in October. And what I did, I wanted to do something to commemorate it. But like I said, this is a template. So I just was using whatever yarn I have around. And you really can't see things real clearly because it was a light color yarn. But on one side, it says 2019, which I know you really can't make out very well. On the other side, it has the initials of us ladies. There's Janie, Kim, Jenny, and Linda. Or the top one could be Jenny, you know. So, and then on the foot of each one, this is not easy to see either because of the yarn I did. Or the yarn I used. I was really pleased with this, but I can see right now you really can't make out the design too much. But like I said, this is a template. The girls' socks are going to be a lot better. See, I don't even think, no matter what I do, you're not going to be able to see. There's a shamrock on there, though. And I know you're not going to be able to make this one out. This is a thistle. So what my plans are, which you'll see them as I'm making it for the girls. What my plans are to do is, on the thistle sock, there will be some kind of purple yarn for most of the sock until I get to the thistle design. Then the thistle design, the background will be a greenish and the thistle would be purplish. And then when I get to the initials, same thing. The background will be greenish, the initials will be purplish, and then I'll work the rest of it in the purple. And it'll be just the opposite for the shamrock sock. I just wanted to get really creative and do, because us ladies may never take a trip together again. So I just wanted to commemorate it. And we're going to one of my, well, some of my favorite places in the world. Scotland, Ireland. I wish we were going to the UK. I really do. But that was not meant to be. Oh! Excuse me, you're going to have to look at my bookshelf for a minute. Because if I didn't show this to you ladies and gentlemen, you would say, what in the world, Kim? Where is your throwback cardigan? Here it is. Ta-da! I'm working on the neckband right now. But I have finished both sleeves. And yes, I tried it on after I did the sleeves just to make sure. So I have the neckband to do, and then I have a band that goes down the side. But I'll show you the back because I don't want to lose my needles. So, ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? And of course, this is Malabrigo Rios. And just like, I just really had to have a sweater out of this. And I'm so glad that Kat Carey sent this to me. And that she asked me to knit up another one for her. So anyways, yes. That's everything that's on my needles. I know. It's not a whole lot, is it? But like I said, it will be changing. Because once I finish that sweater, I'm going to cast on a sweater for Tobias and a dress for Genevieve. Because I love my grandkids. Anyways, somebody else I love. And I did show these last week because I had these finished last week. I only brought one of them over. And I don't know if you can see the pattern on this. I can, but that's because I'm in natural light. This this is for my daughter-in-law, Rachel. Let me see. If you can kind of see the diamond pattern in there, right by that finger, that represents Rachel and Ian's friendship. So they went to school together and they met at Anderson. Then they both kind of went their own ways, and even though they liked each other, they didn't really get back in touch until not so long ago. And then they started growing closer and closer until at the very top of the diamond is a little twist, and that's to represent their marriage. And so these are for Rachel, and I think I will call these Ian and Rachel. Maybe I'll make another pair for my son. Don't know. I just might. I will be having this posted. Don't know where I put my phone. Because I put the date. I think, well, you know, knowing me, I've sat on it before, not known it. I don't know where it's at. We'll just have to wing the rest of this because I'm not sure. I believe I said that this will be free on Napier's Knits on May 15th. I don't have it posted yet. As soon as I get it posted, then I will make it free for one day, and that will be May 15th. I think I'll have a coupon code, and we'll call it Rachel and Ian. All one word. So I need to remember all that. If it changes, I will let you know. Okay? That's everything. What's on my needles? What's finished? Well, you know, it's never, I found my phone. It's never everything because fun stuff that's going on. Well, the thing that causes my allergies, there's two things, and that's newly mown grass and then the blooming trees. Well, the reason I love to go outside is to see all the flowers and all that, and I love the smell of newly mown grass until it starts tickling, and you know, then I know, oh, I'm in trouble. So my husband's been having a hard time trying to mow, bless his soul, because every day it seemed to have rained. So as soon as it was semi-dry on Sunday, he got out and he's doing the yard to this house and the yard to the neighbor's house. So Sunday he was able to get the backyards done. And then he came home yesterday and tried to do some of the front yard, and he got like half of it done. Bless his soul. He works so hard all day long, and then he comes home and he has to do all this stuff. But that's nothing compared to what he did Sunday. See, this is hubby talk time. He's my superhero. We needed to move our shed so that they could easily examine the septic system because we moved the shed over part of it. And like I said, it had rained every day up until Sunday. He needed to get it moved because he doesn't have, you know, he didn't have the time after work to move it, so he had to get it moved. So on, I think it was Sunday, it might have been Saturday now that I think about it, he went out there, and for 8 hours he spent time moving this shed in the mud, using rollers, using, you know, oh. I sat there and went, I don't know how you did. I couldn't help him because if I did, my back wouldn't have allowed me to walk for a month. So he did it all by himself. He's my superhero. I know. And then he had a birthday on the 29th. I had such fun with this, and I shouldn't because in 6 months it's going to be me. He turned 60. He didn't want any big fuss. He bought an ice cream cake for his work, and the grandchildren sent him a little thing in an envelope, which he took away, and it's with him. But, yeah, so we've had that. And then, my dear son, I'd been trying to contact him because I wanted to tell him, you know, a couple things. but he wasn't contacting me at all. And I thought, what is going on? Well, he and his lovely bride, Rachel, they decided to take a trip to Paris and London. Yes, they were there when Notre Dame burned. In fact, they had tickets to go to Notre Dame the next day. So, needless to say, those tickets weren't, worth anything. They did go and they did see the structure. They did a walking tour. Well, no, they did a tour on the Seine in Paris, and then they did a tour on the Thames in London. When he called me and I didn't know they were going on this trip. So when he called me and he told me, I went, oh, I said, I told Dad that would have been my luck. That if one time I finally got to go to Paris, one of the things I actually would have been destroyed the day before. I said, I really didn't wish that on you though. But when he said he went to London and they did the Thames boat ride, then they did a walking tour, just the two of them. And they covered so much of London. And they went to the British Museum. I think they got inside Westminster Abbey. I'm not sure. But, they only had limited time to do all this. And so they just want to travel before they stop and have a family. And I just think that's so smart. So they've been to Mexico, they've been to Peru, and now they've been to London and Paris. So I haven't stopped smiling about it because I used to talk about when I've been over to London and all of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and the Republic, all of that. And I would talk to him about it, but it kind of went because it meant nothing to him. Well, now that he's been to London, we can talk London. Can't really talk Paris, but we can talk London. And I've got a book I want to give, two books I want to give them by one of my favorite authors, Edward Rutherford, because he wrote a book called London, and it's a fictionalized history of London. And then he wrote another one about Paris, and it's the same thing. I just want to give them both those things. I figured they would enjoy it. Now let's see the next thing. House selling stuff. We have a contract on this house. We have a signed contract for our neighbor's house. Now that one won't happen unless this one happens. We have a house inspector coming tomorrow around 5. So I'm not too, I'm not going to say I'm not worried. Because, they can find the littlest things. But we have been putting so much work into this house that, they're not going to complain about the garage being off the foundation because we have that fixed. They're not going to complain about some of the other things that we've done because we fixed those. So, but you're always worried about there being one thing. And I do have to say, when we sold our last house 24 years ago, my mom and dad were both alive, and they came up, and my mom did such a thorough cleaning job of the house. It was amazing. I mean, I clean, and I try to do a really good job, but how when somebody else comes into your house, they can find the little things, like maybe I had a little cobweb in a corner, or little things I didn't think about, like maybe taking off the faucet knob thingies and cleaning under there. Things like that I'd never thought about cleaning that. And so she taught me a lot. And then my father came up and he did so many of the repairs that needed to be done. And I never really thought about that until this time we are really selling our house. Well, God willing. And it's all on to us. I also told my husband when he was moving the shed, he had to have missed Joe, because Joe, even though he wouldn't have been be able to help move the shed, he would have at least supervised and given him the ideas and given him company, because that helped it go faster. So that's my chattering. I'm sorry. Me, I do love to talk. don't really have any news about my grandchildren this week, other than my granddaughter was made a lamb to send to my hubby, but brother decided that it needed some finishing touches, and he kind of ripped it up. Okay, now to go on to some little fun book reviews. You know, as I get books from Dover, craft books, and usually I request them all because, hey, they're good books. I may not be able to use it, but I know other people can, because as can be seen by my knitting book collection, if I see things that I think are cool, I will buy the book and try them. Well, this first one is Clay Play, 24 whimsical projects. And this book's about $13. But in it, look, who cannot? I'm not a big alligator fan, but I like those. But they tell you what kind of tools you need, difficulty. Let's see, what else did they tell you? Oh, basic techniques, which you know, techniques aren't that much different than when you play with Play-Doh and things. But you know, they show things like the ropes and all that, the balls. So anyways, tell you some of the projects. They have, well, look at that. Ornaments, signs, and dangles. They make all those things. So I'm just going to go to the first page of each section. I'd forgotten they had like a little summary picture on the front of each section. I looked at these, and this is so cool, but I don't think with my hands I could do them. Then Sculpture Pals. Look at those. I love the fox. I love the dragon. That was not a dragon. But I love foxes, and I do love dragons. They have a puppy. Surprised she didn't look at me. Then they have It's Magic color clay. So anyways, fun book. And whether you have a child or a grandchild, this would be a fun thing to do with them. Or for yourself. 24 whimsical project clay play. Now, you know, just in case you think, well, but what if I want to do something else with clay? I don't want to do those things. Well, hey, you can make jewelry. There's over 40 projects in this book. And once again, they go through the basic things in the beginning. I'm trying to get to the first page. Tasty treats. And you put them on little jump rings, and they could be earrings, they could be necklaces, bracelets, whatever. But aren't those cute? I'm thinking if you have a little child, they wouldn't have the manual dexterity yet to be able to do some of these. But with mom or dad's help, or grandma's, or any kind of adult, they could do these. Animals and birds. Look at that cute little bracelet. Aren't those adorable? I can't make them, but somebody out there can. In fact, this might end up being a prize book somewhere down the road. Then we have Garden and Bugs. I love the acorn earrings and the butterflies. See, I love butterflies too. I love butterflies. I love foxes. I love dragons. Yes, I do. Seasonal sensations. Ah, there's a shamrock. Cool. Cool. All the shamrocks wouldn't have to just be, you know. Then they have different beads. Look at those. So anyways, lots of cool ideas to make jewelry. And like I said, this one will, they gave you jewelry design ideas in the back. I don't think I made it to the back cover. Those are cute. So anyways, those are two of the books. That one will go into the prize pile. The other one's going to my grandchildren. I used to do this too. And I don't think my little hands can handle it anymore. Macrame jewelry. I did. I used to do macrame all the time. I mean, I did your normal plant hangers, and I did wall hangings, but I also made jewelry. And of course, it tells you the materials, including beads, that will be helpful. They tell you how some of the primary knots and some of the more complex knots to help. And then look at some of those things that you can make. Do any of you guys like to do macrame? Because this is going to go in the prize box. I mean, those are simple but so cute. So cute. So anyways, yeah, this is, I mean, look. I love macrame. It amazes me how simple knots can make beautiful, beautiful jewelry. And they do have difficulties for each one listed right before the instructions. Anyways, so that one's going to go in our prize box. Because I'm sure that some of you are crafty and macrame ways too. Then this one definitely will go in the box. Bookies, bookmarks to crochet. And since I can't crochet, I have no use for this book. But I didn't tell you the jewelry, the macrame jewelry, $14.95. And this book's $19.95. But these are to crochet, and since I can't, these hands aren't going to let me crochet. They do let me knit. And I praise God for that every day. Anyways, lots of different bookmarks to crochet. Aren't those cool? There's a fox. There, I thought that was a unicorn. I didn't see the unicorn before. Because I like unicorns too. You're finding about all the animals that I like now. There's some more, including Shaun Sheep. And was there any more? Eddie, oh, look at the lion. So cool. Anyways, and they do have difficulties written out right with them. So, it said dragon. You know, whoever gets this could make me very happy if they make me dragons and foxes and, you know, all the animals I love. So there we go. Bookies, bookmarks to crochet. $19.95, but this one's going to go in our prize bin. Then this one's going to a friend. Dogs in Origami. And this is one of those books that, you know, I love origami, but I like to have the paper handy. I know you can use almost any paper, but I like to have the paper handy. I was hoping they would have a page where they just had all of them. But they tell you the papers to use, how to fold, the simple folds, the more complex folds. Oh, there we go. There's some dogs. Aren't those cool? And like I said, this one is going to a friend because she does origami. She doesn't have arthritis. She's a young girl, so I'm very glad. I know there are young people that do, and I feel so much for them. But lots of cute origami dogs in there. So that goes to my special friend, Healy. I think I got 2 origami books to give to her. I'm not sure. Anyways, just to let you know, see, I haven't had my phone on for a while, so it turned itself off. Oh, I am an affiliate with Knit Picks, and every month they have a different yarn that's on sale for 20% off. And like I said, they've known I was going on this yarn fast because they've had the tweed, they've had the bear yarn, and now they have Swish yarn. The DK and the worsted, I'm sorry, the DK and worsted are $3.99, and the bulky is $7.99. Oh, I had something else to talk about that I didn't talk about in my fun area, but I'm going to talk about it right now anyways because if you'd have been, if I wouldn't have lost last week's episode, you'd have heard about it. There is something at a local church, a Presbyterian church in town, and it's called the Kirkin of the Tartan, and it was last Sunday. It was so cool. First of all, I'd never been in this church, and it was beautiful. And if I can get the pictures to download, I will try to put some of these at the end of the podcast. But they started off with the March of the Drums, which was the United States flag, the church flag, the Scottish flag. I think that was it. Oh no, then they had tartans, flags of different tartans. Then they had a band, a drummer, some bagpipes, and they marched out. And they were all wearing their kilts and the whole outfit. It was so cool. And the church, everybody who had Scottish in them and had something Scottish to represent their name had it on. My husband had his Napier tie. I had a little crest that is the Napier crest that I wore on a cowl. But part of the service, they had the calling of the clans. And they had a man up there, which we had talked to right before church, and he didn't have a Scottish accent then, but he was able to duplicate one perfectly, and they called every clan name, whether they were in the church or not, didn't matter. And they got to Napier, and my husband and I stood up, and I was so proud. I mean, I am not Scottish by birth, but I am Scottish by marriage, and we have been, I feel like I've been Scottish for 40 years now. It will be 40 years this August. It was so cool. And I was blessed. I had my husband with me, and I had Jenny and Linda who were going on the trip, and then a new friend, April, who I just met on Sunday. And then afterwards, they had lots of Scottish treats, including haggis, which I've never ate haggis before because, I know what's supposed to be in haggis. Well, this wasn't that. This was just like a sausage, but it was yummy. And of course they had the scones and all kinds of things. Oh, I had to share that with you because it is so cool. It was so cool. Okay, last week I was going to also let you guys know the book Surrendered, which I have reviewed on my Reading, Writing, and So Much More blog. It came out last week. It is such a good Christian book. And it's all about, in fact, the hard copies just entered the store this week. It's all about secrets. And how long should you hold on to your secrets? And how your secrets affect others. And when you do share your secrets, who do you share them with? It was good. Surrendered by Jennifer Sienes. Sienes. Okay, as I told you at the beginning of the podcast, I do have an Etsy store, Napier's Knits, and there I sell some of my yarn. There I sell my yarn that I've dyed. And however, if you are a podcast viewer and you don't want to go to Etsy and you would like to ask me personally, it's $18 a skein plus shipping and handling. I can show you some of the colors, but I don't know how, I don't know how well they're going to show, because my phone does reflect. And there's Tobias's. So anyways, I think that's all I need to share today. But I am so sorry about last week, and I am so glad, hopefully, I'm so glad we're able to visit this week. And I hope everything goes smoothly and that this comes through and you can all visit with me. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope that all your crafting goodiness is successful this week. Hope you don't make any mistakes, but if you do, I hope they're small ones that are easy to fix. Love each and every one of you. Big, big hugs. Bye-bye.